Hello, everyone. I'm Roxanne from Everything About Hallmark, and look who my guest is. It's Andrea. Hello, Miss
Hi,
Andrea Brooks. How are you?
I am so well. Thank you so much for having me on here.
Oh, I'm so excited. I have been dying to have you on.
Oh,
I know. I love you. I love your work. I loved when you first came on to Gwen Calls the Heart.
oh,
And I was so happy because at first I thought maybe your character was only going to be around for a few episodes, and then you stayed. Oh
I
my
know.
goodness. So
I
I'm
got
loving
so
it.
lucky.
This is like my viewers love it, but this is a treat for me.
Oh, Roxanne, that's so sweet.
Welcome. Okay, so all right, you were busy this summer. We watched, I mean, all the way into November, basically. And
Yeah.
then you had a little break and you went on an island, didn't you? Did you go on an
Yes,
island? And
I
did
did.
did you have a jellyfish like
I
issue?
did. I had a jellyfish accident, the first of
No.
my life. Not recommended.
No.
Yeah, I was on the island of Maui. It was beautiful. I was there for a wedding. I was just walking along the beach
Mhm.
and I thought I stepped on a thumbtack or a pin. It
Oh.
was really sharp. This, if anyone's ever been stung by a jellyfish, I'm sure you'll be able to relate. But I felt this sharp pain and it started shooting up my leg. And then I sat down and I was like, what did I step on? And then as I was looking at my foot, the pain increased and increased.
I'm
And
getting
it
chills.
was jolting up my leg and then and my leg went numb. It was the weirdest thing. And I never found the jellyfish, but I heard that the tentacles sometimes come up and they wash along the shore
Oh.
at that particular beach. So clearly I stepped on it and kind of kept going. And then I was like, what happened? So it
Oh
was a
my
good
god.
hour of pretty weird pain.
Well, what do they do for something like that?
Well, there's not much to be done, and obviously it wasn't a huge jellyfish. I didn't,
Yeah.
I didn't swim into it and get one of those
Mm.
massive rashes. I
Yeah.
had a little rash on the bottom of my foot, and it was a tiny encounter, but I wouldn't recommend ever coming into any type of contact with a jellyfish. Those things are scary.
No. And I'm thinking, oh, you're on your vacation, supposed to be having a good time, and then that happens. It's
Of
memorable, that's for
course,
sure.
the way it goes, but it was an interesting experience. Now I can relate to that. I've always heard of people being stung by jellyfish, and I had no idea what that sensation was like.
You add it to your toolbox, like in
I
case it
added
pops
it
up
to my
in the toolbox.
toolbox. I'll pull it out in a scene one day.
And so you went to Disneyland?
I did. I just got back last week. It was so fun. I haven't been in years. And it's just, I don't know. It really is the happiest place on earth. And you get to revisit all of your childhood memories. I have so
Mhm.
many memories of Disneyland. I was in a competitive choir as a kid. And when I was 11, I went with my choir and we had one day of competition. And then we had, I think, 3 full days in Disneyland with our friends. And it was the best age. I remember conquering my fear and going on Space Mountain. I was scared of
Mhm.
roller coasters, but my friends encouraged me. I have just so many great memories. So getting
Yeah.
to go back and revisit that as an adult is just so cool.
Oh, and you went with your family? Is
I
that what
did. Yes, it was my little one's first time there. She's 2, so she has an interesting array of Disney likes. She likes Mickey
Mhm.
Minnie. She fell in love with Chip and Dale, which was cool. That was new. She also loves Jack Skellington because she loves Nightmare Before Christmas.
Mhm.
Which is a bit strange for a 2-year-old, but I think it happened after Halloween. She just loves
Okay.
skeletons.
Because my, kindergarten kids I know have a fascination too. I'm a teacher, and
Oh,
I
that's so cool.
so I can get where she likes it. There's something that must appeal to them. Yeah.
Something. I think it's
Yeah.
the Halloween element, but
Maybe.
we
Maybe.
didn't see Jack Skellington because obviously he doesn't come out until I guess they're September, October,
Yes.
I've
Yes.
learned. So I'm
Yes.
thinking I wonder if I have to do another trip down there
You
just to
will. Just you don't have to. Now, how long does it take you from where you live to get there? Is it like a 3-hour flight? What is it?
So I'm just outside of Vancouver. I think it's just under 3 hours.
Nice.
2:45. I
Yeah,
can't remember.
that's
I can't believe
nice.
I don't remember this.
Yeah.
But we actually flew into the small John Wayne Airport near
Mhm.
Anaheim. So
Yeah.
that was cool because I've always traveled in from LA or LAX. So this was a bit quicker, which was cool.
Now, I don't know about you. Our family always goes there. We go to Disney World because I'm from New
Um,
Jersey,
you're
so I'm
East
on.
Coast.
Yes. So when, there's always somebody or some point you have a meltdown. Did anyone have like we call it Disney-itis? Did anybody like have a meltdown or were you just relaxed and okay?
I think think there are any meltdowns. Not really. I think the biggest
Good.
meltdown was probably me after I think I went on the Matterhorn and I was so exhausted. You hit that, we did rope drop and the whole
Oh,
morning.
wow.
And by midday, you're exhausted and you
Mhm.
didn't sleep much the night before. Anyway, I think I had a bit of a not meltdown, but I had like a
Yeah.
crash and I had to find
Yeah.
Kathy and it was an emergency. And then I was okay.
So it's pretty good. Autumn, was it Autumn Reeser and the girls were talking, Lacey Chabert and them, and my brain. I have her on tomorrow, Allison. They were all talking as together as moms, and they were talking about going to Disneyland, and here
Oh,
Autumn never had. So they kind of like mom shamed her a little bit. So she went. And then she was saying, yeah, we had the meltdown too. Like, and I was like, oh my gosh, our family always talks about, we call it Disneyitis, but
was
you
the
were lucky.
Disney-itis. Okay, this is a thing. Okay, I'm learning. This is good. I'll keep an eye out for this.
Now, while you were supposed to be on vacation, I saw that, or have a break. A lot of the actors were going back and they were doing the ADR. Is that something that you had to do, or can you talk to us about it? Because we're
Yeah,
curious.
ADR, that's something that we all have to do no matter what. It's when
Okay.
you're replacing dialogue or
Okay.
any type of audio on the track in post-production. And
Mhm.
um, especially our show, When Calls the Heart is shot in a little place called Jamestown,
Yes.
on a farm. If you're a fan of the
Mhm.
show, you've
Yes.
probably read about this.
Yes.
Lovely location, but the bad part is we're really close to this small Langley airport. And so overhead, so often we'll be in the middle of scenes and we'll literally all just pause and we wait as the airplanes circle. And you can't have an airplane sound on anything,
No.
especially a show set in 1919. That's not
No. No.
appropriate.
Not yet.
We wait for the plane. Sometimes we're inside. Sometimes there's heavy rain. There's a lot of reasons why the dialogue might not be perfect. So you go in to kind of touch it up. You might replace a line or two or a scene, depending if you maybe your mic dropped out or something. But that's often something that people don't think about is dialogue is so important. And sometimes
Right.
you don't catch it perfectly on the first try. So you have to go into a recording studio and then you watch your scene and you make your little
Yeah.
adjustments as needed.
That's like whoever has that task, it's interesting, whoever does, the sound, the audio, but I don't know that I can't imagine that like blows my mind trying to make that all match up and work. I mean, I know
Yeah.
it's digital, but
It's
that
a
must
process, and there's
be
also quite a
tedious.
skill to it too. You wear when you're the actor, you put on headphones, and then you're in front of a big screen at a little stand, and you have to do the replacement, and you have 3 beeps in your ear, and then you have to
Oh,
match your dialogue, and I actually had some good advice once. If you're having trouble matching your dialogue or the sounds or a laugh or whatever it is,
mhm.
sometimes, they suggest you close your eyes and you just really use your ears to listen to
Wow.
the way, and then you try to mimic that exact sound.
Oh,
Yeah,
very
it's a
nice.
skill set. It's a weird one. I quite like ADR. I'm generally pretty fast, but the odd time there'll be a line that really stumps me.
Mhm.
But yeah, I was in there. I guess before I went to Disneyland, I did my last session, and I watched a really cool scene in the infirmary that came together
Mm.
really well. So yeah.
Oh, okay. We're all very much excited. But before we even talk about that, we have to talk about some other exciting things. So, outside of When Calls the Heart, tell me about the wedding fix.
The Wedding Fix. I'm so excited. Just found out about the release date. It's going to air on UpTv March 20th.
Okay.
And that's a really fun one starring myself and this Australian actor named Patch May. And he's
Yes.
absolutely hilarious. He's been working a ton up here in Canada right now. And he had me cracking up the entire shoot. We had so much fun. And it's directed by one of my favorite Canadian directors, Nicholas Humphreys. He's amazing. We actually went to the same university and went through the same program at different times.
Uh-huh.
So we have a lot in common. And we just had an absolute blast. I shot that last spring, and then right when we wrapped, I went right to When Calls the Heart. So
Now, what can you tell us about? Like, are you allowed to tease us about your character, the plot? What can you give us?
sure. Yes, I play a character named Gwen. She is a type A personality. She's in a relationship with a professional athlete,
Oh,
and things go sour. Everything in her life that she thinks is perfectly organized and aligned to have a wedding ends up falling apart. Her best friend is getting married, so she goes over there early to help with the wedding plans. Sure enough, the wedding plans start falling into disarray. She has to pick up the pieces, and then they bring in the best man to come help. And he couldn't be more starkly different from Gwen. And the two of them butt heads, and there's a lot of really funny comedic moments that were super fun to play with Patch, and we have to ultimately save this wedding.
So I like that because you said he already has that funny type of a personality, so that carries over into the show itself.
Yes. Yeah,
Definitely
he's
like
fabulously funny. We
oh,
actually,
all right.
because of COVID, usually you have a read through with the cast, and if you
Mhm.
don't know each other, you hang out before
Yes,
shooting, or you
sure.
try to sometimes. And with COVID, that's not really a thing. So we
Mm.
actually, our director, Nicholas, set up a Zoom date for us, and he was there. And then he's like, and now I'm going to leave and now get to know each other over Zoom. So Patch and I had like a quick, like,
Yeah.
I imagine like it was like a 15-minute Zoom coffee date, and
Yeah.
then rolled right into the movie. And
Oh,
he's super
wow.
funny.
I mean, actually, I know that's awkward and it could be odd and different, but could you imagine something like this happening like 10, 15 years ago? We wouldn't have had the ability to do this.
I
So, I
know.
mean, it's like it's a pain in the neck because I'm a
Mhm.
teacher. It's a pain in the neck, but then it's
Oh,
also like a blessing that we're able to do it.
oh, absolutely. It's just our abilities to continue to connect still
Mhm.
exists, and that's so integral. You're so right. I don't know what we would have done 15 years ago had we
No.
confronted this. It would have been very different.
It would have been sad because this is what like because when we were quarantined and we're stuck, this is the movies and your job, it brings like such joy to so many people that
Oh,
they would
yeah.
like normally you're stuck in your house getting depressed and now you got this
Yeah.
cool outlet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I feel so thankful. I just thank my lucky stars every day. I was able to, even
Mhm.
in the middle of the pandemic, I was so busy, and I got to do 3 back-to-back leads in romantic movies last year. And it was just such a blessing. I think I've always liked doing happy, fun content, but I have a new appreciation for it given the
Mhm.
circumstances that we've lived through over the past 2 years. Just I don't know. I adore playing characters. I love the lightheartedness. I love playing love. It's so fun. So yeah, it's been a good run.
It has been. We're going to talk about another one of your movies. We'll talk about all of them, whatever one you want. But I had a question. I saw this cute. I think you're the one that posted it, and you were with the cast for the wedding fix. And you, what is that? Forever or what was
Uggs
it?
for life.
Yes,
I had to. I love that photo because everyone looks so pretty in it, and yet we have Ugg boots on, and that is just the reality of shooting film and television. Everyone wears Uggs since 2006, whenever they became popular.
right,
2005, I
right.
don't remember. Every wardrobe department will have Uggs for their actors, especially the women, because when you're in high heels running around for hours on end,
You need
it
it.
hurt your feet. So there's often a wardrobe assistant standing by with Uggs for you. And it was funny because it was a beautiful day. We have gowns on, we're celebrating a wedding, and we have Uggs. It
You
just
have on
seems
your.
so silly, but that's just life in the film industry.
That's actually cool because I didn't even know that. Thank you. Now
Yeah,
you
Uggs.
shared like
Everyone has Uggs. I know they went out of style. I think they're coming back with this Y2K
oh
fashion
yeah,
trend. I
yeah.
never let go of my Uggs. I buy myself a new pair every year. I
We
wear
do
them to
too.
set any time of year. They're like slippers. I love Uggs.
They're actually I like the slippery shoes that they have now that more people are wearing. Like my girls in my family, they're wearing those because they could just throw them on and run out the door because the one has
Exactly.
like her she has CP, so her foot goes in a different way. And we're like, oh, it's taken too long. And now we've got the slip on, so they're great. And
They're
that's where
great.
you go, right?
I
Right.
love that.
Now tell me about your other movie, the fishing for love? Fishing,
Yeah.
yes.
So yeah, last year I did Fishing for Love, The Wedding Fix, and then and in between that I shot another one called Sit Stay Love, and we don't have a release date for that yet.
Oh, okay. You'll have to come back for
We'll
that.
come back to that. Yeah,
Okay.
Fishing for Love aired on UpTv last month.
Mhm.
That was we shot that kind of early on in the pandemic days, so we
Yes.
were very worried about getting shut down and making sure that we were testing and we abided by all the rules. We were so
Mhm.
careful, and it was a wonderful experience. We traveled over to Vancouver Island, the small town called Brentwood Bay. If you're ever on Vancouver Island, if you're ever doing a trip to Vancouver, I recommend checking out Vancouver Island and stopping in Brentwood Bay, because that was the town of Mystic in our movie, but it's truly a town. Unlike so many Hallmark style movies where
Mhm.
you have, you'll shoot at a barn in one town, you'll
Yes.
try to manufacture a town. This town really exists. So everywhere that we bike and everywhere that we take our canoe or our kayaks out to, that's
Mhm.
all really one place. And there really is an eatery right on the dock. We just shot in this true small town. We met a bunch of the people who live there. We became friends with a bunch of the fishermen in the community. So it was a really special experience. And we took over the resort in Brentwood Bay, and we would roll out of bed. I walked 30 steps out of my hotel room into my hair and makeup in the morning. It was wonderful. And yeah, it's always going to be a special movie to me because the process of filming was just so fun.
You didn't have to like get in your car, drive over. It was actually,
we had one day where we shot in Victoria, which is the big city on the island. And that was, I think, our first or second day of shooting, and everything else was literally right where we were staying. And that is not often the case. Usually you have an hour, you're driven an hour away to a hotel, and there was none of that. We really kind of got to wrap ourselves up in this community and shoot a movie there. And I just loved it.
It's almost sort of like what happens with When Calls the Heart, sort of being in that little space, right?
That's right. But we're so lucky on When Calls. Our trailers never move. On most TV series, you shoot all over the place. So one day you'll be in a city, and then they'll take you out to a farm, and they have to have these company shuffles. So everything goes, the wardrobe truck, the hair makeup truck, your trailers. And then you wake up every morning and you open your trailer door and you're in a new place. It's a bit surreal, but When Calls the Heart, you never ever leave. I think they ventured out in season 2 a little bit, and that was it. Since then, everything's been shot in Jamestown. It's like being at a studio. It's such a comforting experience, and I love that. I guess it's the lazy way, but I just love knowing where I'm going every day.
I think it's like a hometown feel. Like you don't feel displaced, you know.
Exactly. You never feel displaced,
which is a good thing. You have a mug that's just as big as my mug,
full of peppermint tea.
Oh, I love peppermint. I love peppermint anything. It's very calming, soothing for your voice. And you've done a lot of talking today, haven't you?
Yeah, I always try to structure doing my interviews and stuff kind of back to back. It's also good for my memory. Then I know what I'm talking about. I'm on a roll. I can recollect what I want to share.
Where else can we see you? It would be great if we could see your other interviews. Are you allowed to tell us?
Sure. I did one this morning with Hallmark's podcast.
Okay, love them.
Written interview with Hearties Observer.
Oh, yes.
Hallmark Happenings podcast I'm doing today.
Yes.
Okay, you know everybody.
I do. I know all of them.
And I've got a couple other little written ones that I'm going to try to get to as well. And then I have another pending one that I have to check on. So I don't want to say anything.
That's okay. So the 3 that you mentioned, the 2 podcasts and the written, all of my viewers will be watching and reading. We gobble up everything because there's something always unique in each one. Do you know what I mean? Like
that's
something
true.
different comes out.
You ask such good detailed questions, and you can always tell when you're interviewing with somebody who knows the show versus someone who doesn't. So apparent, but you can judge it via the question.
That's funny. Okay, you're giving me a tidbit here. Now, I wanted to know, I'm fascinated with Fishing for Love because as soon as I saw like clips of it, I was like, it's gorgeous. I would want to go. Now, you were fishing and rowing a boat or kayaking, doing all these sports. Is that you? Is that Andrea? Or are you okay? Were you comfortable?
Am I okay? I'm not good at fishing. So when I got the script and I got the offer for Fishing for Love, I remember going, I fished for carp in Lake Las Vegas as a 10-year-old on vacation. And I think apart from that, I've never really fished. So I was worried, but we got there, and a bunch of our crew members became friends, as I said, with the fishermen down by the dock in Brentwood Bay. And so I remember going out there and just we had one fishing boat take us out on an expedition, Spencer Lord and myself, and we asked questions. We're like, what would you say if you were reading this scene? Does this make sense? And we really tried to do everything properly. The sad thing is, I think we shot some fishing scenes where I didn't really know what I was doing. And then as we were filming, I learned a bit more about fishing. And I remember thinking at the end, I wish we did the fishing stuff last. Cause I think I got the hang of it. Cause there's some technique involved. You have to release your thumb and the casting. And anyway, so I actually did kind of learn. I got the hang of it by the end. And the funny thing is, when I shot The Wedding Fix, we had a scene in a boat where we were fishing. And I was like, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. I learned this 2 movies ago.
This is good. These are skills. Again, the toolbox. You can use it in
Toolbox.
your toolbox.
It's an act, the acting version where it's not
Yes.
really real, but you try.
This is good. I love it. What can you tell us about the plot? Because we don't know the plot yet of that one.
Fishing or Wedding Fix?
No, we know a plot for Wedding Fix. You shared that, but the one for Fishing for Love.
Okay, back to fishing. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so Fishing for Love, I play a character named Kendall. She is a restaurant designer, city gal, and she comes from a very small town called Mystic. She finds out that her father is selling the beloved fishing boat that she grew up on, that she made memories with her late mother on.
Aww.
And when her brother informs her of this, she knows that she's to venture back home and convince her dad not to sell the boat, or in a better scenario, perhaps she'll find a perfect buyer for the boat who won't disassemble it and take it apart. And so, as luck would have it, there is a new handsome, strapping lad in town with a cute little daughter. He's a quiet lone wolf type, and I think Kendall makes a decision thinking he could be the perfect buyer for the boat. So then there's a big orchestration involved in trying to bring him into the community, convince her dad that he could be the right one. She has to help him open up, become who he truly is. And it's just a really cute story. And the thing I like about it is, unlike some of these projects where there's a lot of friction between the leads right off the bat, these two kind of team up early on in the movie. And then you kind of get to see this really, really special, nice flow between the two of them, because they're both working to, the boat is the motivation here. I want to save the boat. So yeah.
But they have that inner conflict that they're trying to deal with. Oh, sorry. I took a breath in. Wow. I'm sorry. A first for me. I recorded it, but have not seen it yet. So I'm excited for it. I'm saving that.
I would love to know your thoughts.
I'll tell you.
Okay,
I love to watch them live whenever I can, but sometimes it doesn't work out. But I was like, oh, this is why I was curious about the setting, because as soon as I was watching it, I was like, oh my goodness, this looks like a place that my family and I would love to visit.
Yes.
The setting is gorgeous.
Yes.
And it's nice to know that it's an actual real place.
It's an actual place. You can go everywhere that we shoot. You can walk. It's walking distance. If you stay at the beautiful, gorgeous, they have a resort there. Mm-hmm. Stay there, and you can relive the entire movie. It's so cool.
I will love that. I would take pictures as I go along. Yeah. It's on my list. Is it only is it seasonal? Do they have winter and summer, autumn, that kind of thing? Or is it?
Yeah, I'd say in Vancouver, you're going to get a lot of rain no matter what. Spring, summer, that's your best bet. But yeah, it gets cool-ish. When we shot in January, February of last year, it was freezing and the inlet actually froze. So when Spencer and I were shooting the scene in the kayak, we actually hit ice. And we were like, oh, I don't know if what are we doing? Because we're not, we both kayak. We're both adventurous types. But we were like, and also, is the camera picking up the ice? Because it's very cold. And this is not supposed to be a winter movie.
Oh gosh, it always happens. I love when it's supposed to be wintertime and snowing out, and you've got 100 degrees and you got sweaters on, and you're like Danica McKellar when she did, I think it was You, Me, and the Christmas tree or the fir tree this year. She was saying that she thought she was going to pass out and not make it. She didn't know what she was going to do. She felt so nauseous and sick, and I don't know how she learned this, but she put cooling ice, ice packs kind of thing on the bottom of her feet and her shoes. And everything just changed. And I was like, that's a fabulous tip. I learned that from her.
It's a really good tip. I do the same when it's free, because I feel like I'm always I'm always cold to begin with. But yeah, we have we buy the little sticky heat packs in basically on any show that shoots in British Columbia. We're prepared for the cold, for the wet, for the rain. And they always say, put the sticky things on the bottom of your shoes and then heat up your feet, and that just heats your body up. So I can totally understand doing the same with ice packs. Because it's weird. You shoot winter movies where you have 6 layers on and it's July. It's not fun. I mean, it is still fun, but it's weird.
It's one of your challenges that you just really have to show off your acting skills. You have to feel like you're cold when it's hot.
Act like I'm not hot. Act like I'm not hot. Yeah. Then as they're taking the sweat off your brow,
or when a giant rainstorm comes, that's interesting. I saw they took a blowtorch, I think, to the steps of, I forget which building on the set for When Calls, and they were trying to get the rain to like go away.
Yeah, they try to dry off the rain patches. Oh my
Yes.
goodness. If only everyone could see all the effort that goes in before we actually roll the camera. It's mind-boggling what has to be achieved. I mean, they'll screw in lights, they'll take them down, they'll move. There's just so much activity happening behind the scenes. Always exciting.
And they have it down to a science. They're really good about it. Yeah, because
Yeah, and we've been lucky. A lot of our crew members have come back year after year. So we kind of, we're lucky. We generally start off knowing exactly what we're doing. And there's always a few new faces, but yeah, by the time you've done 9 years on it, 9, you know, there's been going on a decade of a series. You know what you're
got
doing.
it down.
Good feeling.
And you know what else makes it nice is that it's the same set. It's the same place. So that helps them too. We as viewers get fed all kinds of deliciousness from like the crew and, you know, the who's doing your hair, whatever they share too. So we get to see that, which is, it's kind of fun because in between like seasons of When Calls, we're dying. Like we're like, wow, we got too long. What are we going to do? And this is the kind of stuff that helps us along, which is nice. So can we slide into some stuff about When Calls? Yes, let's talk about season 8, if you don't mind. But before we even dive into that, do you have a favorite scene that's not necessarily from season 8? Like maybe you've been on for a while now. Is there something that stands out in your mind that always has like a little special place in your heart, or maybe there's many, but I was just wondering.
There's always many. I think generally I respond with, I love the group scenes because I adore this cast. And it's like a family reunion every day you shoot scenes. You know everyone so well. You've been with each other for such a long time. It's fun when they're resetting the camera and the entire cast has to broom out, and we sit in our chairs and we chat. And we had a couple of really fun group discussions this year of like, this show's been on for so long, and just the jokes and so I really like the group scenes because every time you see, whether it's like a Christmas pageant or a wedding, we're really all hanging out and actually talking and actually living like a community, because we are. And so that's always special to me, just having those. And I don't know, I like everyone on this cast so much. Every day you walk into a big scene, it's like, I'm happy. I want to stand next to every single person today and just talk to everyone. So those scenes are awesome. The group scenes when everyone's there. But yeah, a couple little special ones from season 8. I really like the scene, the final scene between Nathan and Faith. Just because it's a gentle scene between two friends who are brokenhearted, who have just gone through something very similar, who are checking in with each other. And I think that I don't even think you need to read into that scene whatsoever. I think it's just a gentle reminder of what this show is about, which is checking in with your fellow community members, making sure people are okay. And that's a powerful thing between anyone. And I thought that one was special because they had both gone through something similar.
Right. And I like that. And you took a moment, you were helping him with his hand, which it cracks me up because you thought it was something very chivalrous or very dangerous. And here it was his hat he was chasing and he hurt his hand. That was cute. And I love that. You know what else I really like from it's been building season 8 is I love the relationship with you and Fiona. I was hoping that we could give you and Fiona, your two characters, some kind of name of the two of you together. That would be neat. But
like a gal pal name. Oh my gosh, I love that.
Like the Mod Squad. I don't know. I was trying to think of it because you two girls are like really modern thinkers, and you bring something to like the young girls that are watching the show. They're seeing how like what it was like in history, how things were different. You didn't always get to have a say, and how you had to fight your way to do it. You know, be a part of the medical world or even anything, how Fiona wants to be in business and you're independent, and it's okay to do that. So that's one of the reasons why I adore your character, because you're different, but and you play it like you're really soft-spoken when you need to be soft-spoken, your character. And then when you need to stand up for yourself, you do too, which I love how they write your character, and you do a good job portraying that.
So sweet. Thank you. I love it too.
I know, we can tell. Now, I mean, you and Carson, you and Paul together were amazing. Did you realize going into this season that it would be a season where you were not going to be together? maybe ever or for a while? You don't have to give that away, but we kind of know.
Yeah, I think it's hard because we always have discussions early on in
Right.
the season before we shoot.
Yes.
And so you sometimes have a general idea of things, but once the season starts rolling and you start shooting, sometimes changes are made. The writers are all together at that point. So
Yes.
maybe the network doesn't like something. So you have to be willing to make adjustments and to roll with it, because
Right.
sometimes what you're expecting doesn't manifest and sometimes it does. So I think I was told early on in 8, like, there's a good chance your characters aren't going to make it. And so
Oh,
I knew that was a possibility, but of course
yeah.
I had no idea how that would play out, because we're just waiting until we get those scripts, we read them, and then we go. So
Right.
I had a general idea, but of course I had no idea what the ultimate
Arc would
journey
be.
would be, because none of us actually know. But they'll throw things at you, and conversations are had, but that doesn't always mean that is for sure what's happening.
Right. So, okay, so now we get to the part where you have to say goodbye to each other. And I have analyzed this scene. I'm like, because of the way they probably did the editing or whatever, you don't really see Carson in the coach going away. You never
Right.
see him in or waving or whatever. So I'm like, where is he? He's somewhere, or is it a metaphor that it's open and we're going to get a phone call from him maybe in the future, or he's coming back?
Yeah.
That's how I think of it in my head. But my point was, you knew at that point it was the end. So did that help you with the scene? Because you were so emotional, and it broke my heart.
Yeah, that was a tough one. And I know the way that scene was directed, and the intention was kind of, Faith was looking at him because there was so much uncertainty in that relationship.
Yes.
The way I see it is they were right for each other, but it was at the wrong time.
Fine. Yes.
They're different generations. They have different outlooks on life. And those things just became more and more apparent, as the small cracks began to grow.
Yes.
But I do
Yes.
think there is something foundational that's so right. I think that's like life too. Sometimes it's just the timing's not right. And I don't think their timing was right. I think it was wrong. But the way that we worked on that scene, they wanted to be on Faith, and then Faith wanted to watch that stagecoach, not knowing if he would actually be getting on it. So we wanted it to be a surprise for her and the audience. So when it pulled away, we weren't sure if he was on the coach or if he would be sitting there with the ring, right?
Yeah.
He had a ring
Yeah.
that Faith, of course, doesn't know about. But it was meant to be a moment of suspense, because it's hard. That was a hard season. That was a hard breakdown. And there's something kind of devastating in a way. You've been, as an actor and as a character, you've been working towards this thing, and it's just not quite jiving. And there's no disrespect at all. In fact, I think these characters have so much respect for each other, which is why ultimately the decision was, follow your dream. I'll follow mine. You follow yours, because neither one of us wants to let, hold the other one back.
Right.
I think it's a really noble, mature decision.
It was. It absolutely was. It was very much of your characters. It wasn't like out of left field and not believable.
No,
I believe
you're right. They're very diplomatic, hardworking people, and that is the right solution for them at that time. What the future holds, I have no idea, but that was right for them in that moment.
And I agree. And it was believable, plausible to me, because when people come up with their ideas and I'm like, why in the world would you think that would happen? Because I teach literature. So I'm always looking for all those hints.
Yes.
And I think in general, overall, the writers do a fabulous job. If people were viewers and paying attention, they'll notice all these little things that you give us along the way, which I love. And the acting, I love the acting. I really love the acting because I feel like it's authentic. Like when you're in the moment, I'm in the moment with you. I don't feel like it's acting. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, that's so wonderful.
I get lost. And I'm like, oh, this is my happy time. I cannot wait, and then I watch live, and then I have to record it because I have to watch it 5 more times,
I love that. Yes.
Now,
we're very fortunate on this show. We have this is one of the most talented groups of people I've ever worked with. My goodness, like you mentioned, being lost. Sometimes when we do our scenes, there's this real magic that happens as an actor. I would say 2 to 3% of the time where you actually let go of what's coming next. Because usually as an actor, you're like, am I hitting my mark? Is the camera in the right spot? Did I hit this? Did I say this right? I didn't like that. So sometimes you're talking to yourself as you're doing scenes, but sometimes you have this really special moment where you're in it with another character and you're so there that you don't even know what's coming next. You just feel it. It's just organic. And when that happens, it's just magic. And then when you snap out of it, sometimes you look at the other actor and you're like, whoa. Because it's rare. It's not always the case, but you have those moments you get lost. And I lived for those. When those happen, I'd go home so excited because that's the real magic about this.
Yes. That's what makes it even extra special, what you get to do. Oh, and it's so nice too that you enjoy where you go to work, because that doesn't always happen for everybody. You know, I mean, you like who, like you're saying, you enjoy who you are working with, even on the off time when you're not acting, you're sitting around, which could get boring or monotonous or whatever. But here you are with people that you can hang out with and talk, and it's like your family. So that's nice. Actually, it's better than your family, because sometimes your family gets on your nerves.
That's true. And you get to drive away, right?
Yeah.
You don't live with them.
Yeah. Yes, that's true. Now, what about season 9? Now, I know there are only certain things that you can talk about. I wanted to show you a picture. We had talked about this before. It's going to be so small because I'm going to stick it up in the branding section. And it's interesting. And the reason why, did it disappear? Where'd it go? It disappeared.
I bring bad luck with technology. It's probably me.
What happened? No, it disappeared. That makes me mad. Okay, I was going to show it to you, but I was so proud of myself. I had it all ready, and I was going to stick it up in the little corner there. It is a picture of Chris McNally as Lucas, and we know that the reason why I'm asking you the question is it's a white envelope, and he's holding it, and he's standing inside the infirmary. And of course, we know you can't tell us what that means, but holy moly, do you have any kind of hint to what it means, or do you remember anything about it? Are you involved?
I haven't seen this photo, so I'm not sure what promo. Sometimes it's funny when I watch the promos, I'm like, I don't even remember that. Was that a thing? And sometimes things are edited in a way that's just doesn't jive with your memory, which is a bit of a funny experience. But I can say that there is Faith and Lucas do have a scene. I mean, there are many, but there's one in particular. There's a scene between the two of them this year that involves some encouragement.
Okay. And
I imagine that that's probably where that photo's from, but I can't say for sure. I'll have to check it out.
Involves some encouragement. Are you allowed to say who is receiving and who is giving, or is that the mystery?
I think that's where I get in trouble.
Okay, then that's all right. I will take it. I love that. We have, I think Janine is here. So when the show airs on Sunday, on Mondays, I have a partner. Her name is Kathy, and we come on together and we analyze life. Okay. And Janine, what's going to happen is we're going to give people a little bit of a preview. So the Sunday before, and at 8:05, not at it has to be after 8:03, because by us it says from 8 to 8:03 we get this little sneak peek of something that's going on the 27th for Gwen calls. Then at 8:05 we'll be on, and we talk about these little things like this tidbit you gave us. We'll all be on talking, what could it be? It could be this, could it be that, could it, so we're gonna love all of that. Now I know people have millions of questions and you can only answer certain things, but one of the questions I wanted to ask about season 9 was do you, of course, there is more Faith and Fiona, right? You two are good buds, right? You're still.
Yes, you'll see some Faith and Fiona.
Okay. And thank you for that. But the other thing was, if you had to think of your storyline and you had to like put a word on it, or if you had to just put a word on the whole season, what would it be? Like, I know Viv, when I was talking to him before, he had said, kaboom, and who said it was explosive. We heard all those things. Okay. But, and so when I was talking to Kayla the other day, and I forgot what hers was, but she was saying that hers was challenging. She was going through a lot of challenges this season.
I know why that is too.
Okay. Because you're her BFF. That's right.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you think would be a good like label or something that you would say for you?
Would you say this is for Faith specifically or for the show?
You could do it for both. You could do one for you and one for the show, or either, or whatever you want to give us.
Okay. I would say for Faith, maturity. I think that's the word. I think there's a lot of maturity happening. I think that we really see her adulting now. We've
Okay.
been with her since season 2. She was this hardworking young nurse, and now she's grown so much.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a level of maturity she hits this year that she has to kind of realize, and she works very, very hard this season. Very hard. There's a lot going on for Faith.
Okay.
So that's, I would say, maturity for her. And for the town, I would say growth.
Okay. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any new characters that you work side by side with, or you cannot say? We've met some, but
so there is a new character coming to town this year, and Faith does have a bit of a history with this character.
Oh,
there's a little bit of a connection at play that will be interesting to watch.
All right.
I don't know how. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give anything away, but there's an interesting connection.
Okay. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Now, I know that you said you had other things you had to do, and I don't want to keep you, but if you don't mind, would you like to, let's see what some of these comments are here? And
yeah, I'm not, my next one is not until 3. So I have 13 minutes.
Oh, right. Oh, did you have anything that you wanted to share, or you're good? Did you want to like promote anything else?
So, is there anything else? Well, obviously Fishing for Love. They're doing a lot of repeats of that on UpTv these days. Wedding Fix airs March 20th. I can't wait. I hope it all comes together well. When I saw the cut, I had a lot of fun reliving it. So I hope it lives up to my
expectations. It's going to be good.
And the other one that I shot last year, which doesn't have an air date yet, it stars myself, Marcus Rossner, who I've worked with many a time before, who I adore. It's called Sit, Stay, Love. That's the working title. It might change. And it stars Marcus, myself, and a lovely dog named Nova, who plays Sam. And it's a dog story. It's like my dream story as a kid. I kept saying, if I were 11, this would have been my ultimate movie. And we got to shoot it together. Directed by Heather Hawthorne Doyle, who directs a zillion Hallmarks these days. It's really fun.
So listen, we will have to do something with that. We'll promote that for you. I promise. We'll put that out there. We'll do something fun.
Maybe I could jump on here with Marcus, because I adore Marcus.
That would be great. Bring him on. And you know what? The viewers love animals. They love dogs. Okay. So this is right up all of our alleys here. All right. So let's see. There's so many questions in here. I'm going to just like roll all the way back. I think you can too.
So here's the comments. Okay. Oh, private chat comments. Yes.
That's private. That's us. These are the
there's so many comments. Hi, everybody. Oh, everyone was saying hi, and I missed this. I'm sorry.
No, they're all in the midst of it. I mean, there's a lot here. We have 77 right now viewing. So this is like, yeah. Everyone was saying hi to everyone, to each other. And then when I do it, does it control yours too? If I move it, is it moving yours, or you're moving it yourself?
Well, I think I was moving it. I just see someone. Viola, best name ever.
What was it?
Someone, Viola. My daughter's name, Viola. Good name.
Martha was saying, hello, Hope Valley. Martha from Colorado, looking forward to the interview with Andrea. These are just everyone saying hello. They're so excited. I'm looking forward to the interview. Look, I'll show you what it says up on the screen. It says,
I see.
Hope Dr. Carter didn't get called away. Oh, this is when we were taking a minute. No, it took a minute for us to get on because of me. Something happened to my sound.
I have bad juju when it comes to technology. Trust me, this happens every time.
No, this is someone talking with someone else, and they were just saying that they want to see you blossom in season 9, and it sounds like it.
That's really nice. Yes, she's at a really cool point in her professional career this season.
I love it. This is Sharon, who loves you, and she's always loved Andrea. It's a treat for us too, because I was saying this is my treat. Remember, like my viewers won't be excited, but this is something that I wanted.
Sharon, that's so sweet.
And there's all kinds of cutie stuff. Now, I was looking for I saw some questions. They're just saying you're down to earth. What's the site? Next time Andrea goes to Disney, she may want to try Disney World. Yes.
I've never been to Disney World. I grew up I was born on the East Coast of Canada, but mostly grew up on the West Coast. So Disneyland was where my brother and I used to go. Never been to Disney World. I've heard it's massive.
Yes.
Very, very big.
It is, and it's easier to get Disney-itis. I've been to both because I have family in California, and I've been to both, but it's so easy to get Disney-itis at Disney World.
That's funny. Okay, I'll be on when I go to Disney World, I will be on the lookout for Disney-itis.
Okay.
Okay.
It says, hello, Roxanne, Andrea, and everyone checking in while I have a little bit of time. And it says, oh my goodness, Andrea, you're so pretty and so talented.
Oh my gosh, stop. That's too nice. I can't. You're going to make me cry.
Listen, your photo shoot that you did, I forgot to mention that. You were stunning on a regular day, but that was like, I was like, oh my goodness.
That was like a dream photo shoot. That's my dream photographer. We got we were in the middle of shooting When Calls the Heart when we did it, and I brought Jill and Deneen, who do my hair and makeup on When Calls the Heart, and they had a bunch of creative ideas. We were every morning in the makeup chair at work. We talked about this, like, what should we do? What should we do? And I just said, I love you guys and respect you guys so much. You know my hair and face better than I do. Come up with what you want to do. I'll shoot you some outfit inspo and let's just do it and you go nuts. So that was their vision. I just showed up and they were like, we're going to do this. And they're just such amazing artists. We are so lucky on When Calls the Heart. We have the most talented team. I adore Jill. I adore Deneen. And that was their look. That was their vision. So
that was beautiful. And I was like, look at you. I was like, woo. They were gorgeous.
Thank you.
This is Luca Beth Lounge. I don't know if you even know what that is. That's they're a podcast, but they analyze scenes and whatnot. And it says, we need you in a lounge soon. So it looks like they would like for you. They'll have to reach out to you.
Is it a podcast? That's really
is. And they're lovely. You will love those.
I love breaking down scenes because I always have such strange memories of shooting. And then sometimes the way I remember it isn't what appears on screen. And there's always a lot of stories involved in breaking down scenes. Very cool. I'll have to check that out.
So keep them in mind. They have a cool name, Luca Beth Lounge. You could guess who they're fascinated with, right?
I can only imagine.
Okay. Not that they don't love you too. I'm just saying. This is Beverly. She said she saw Fishing for Love and it was really good and she loved it. Beverly, I can't wait. When I'm done watching, Beverly, you're going to have to chat with me about it, okay?
I love that movie. Honestly, I feel like Spencer and I had a really great connection on that one. And he was just it was so seamless. It was just such an easy, sometimes you meet actors and maybe you don't click. You just can't figure each other out right away. And then sometimes you just meet and you're like, oh, I got it. It was one of those, oh, I got it situations.
Good. So we're electric on the screen. I don't know what it's called. Together?
I don't know. I hope so.
Deb says your photo shoot was sizzling.
Thank you, Deborah.
And what's this? Yes, love Faith and Fiona's friendship. Also love that Faith is getting a little stronger, standing up for herself as a doctor. Do you think you'll do more now that Carson will be gone? Because you're the doctor, right?
Yes. You know what? There was a really interesting power struggle for Faith. This was discussed this season between myself and the writers. And, when Faith showed up in Hope Valley in season 3 for the first time, she ran the infirmary. She was the only medical professional in town because they would always send away for a doctor. And that wasn't happening. So she was fixing up the bullet wounds. She was staying up late at the saloon reading her medical textbooks. She was doing everything. And then when Carson came, obviously there was a bit of a shift because he was a doctor, she was not. And so I think that's why I was so pleased when I went on maternity leave and they were like, hey, this is the chance for her to go to medical school. I was elated because what a way to level up the character without, having to send her away another time. It worked out.
It's perfect.
Really well. And it allowed for this character to grow so much. And like I said, it's the year of adulting and maturity for her. So she will be standing on her own 2 feet. She will be running things. It will be stressful. I think, as always with Faith, she tends to make sacrifices for her career, so sometimes when it comes to her own happiness, I think she needs to do a little bit of work there, and there'll be a little bit of an exploration of that kind of as the season progresses. But she's on her own 2 feet. She's working really, really hard, and she's working with Molly. Molly is still assisting at the infirmary. I would like to see Molly get a nursing degree at some point.
Yes.
At this point, she is right in there with the mini surgeries. She is so helpful. I don't know what Faith would do without her.
I like that. And I love I love how that came out about how first she was trying to find a job,
Mhm.
and then the conversation that I think, it was Carson with, who was it that said to him about this was her she wanted to impress you. Remember, she kind of overdid it. You were actually your character wasn't there. So she kind of overdid the office and making his appointments and whatnot. And Carson
Yes.
gets a little upset. And then who is it that has the conversation with her?
I don't
Oh,
know.
Florence does. And
Oh, is it
Florence
slow-mo?
has
Yeah.
conversation, yes, and says to Carson, she wanted to impress you. And I'm like, oh, because these are women that, didn't have jobs, like,
Of
because
course.
they were at home at first and then
Yep,
their husbands died.
of
And now
course.
they're trying to make their way. And
Yes.
she was cleaning the office for Bill. And now she's doing this. And I love that that's how they created it. And now you two are together.
Yeah.
You have like good
And
scenes. It's
Molly, there's some fantastic Faith Molly scenes coming up this year, and
yeah.
she's a great sounding board for Faith, because I think Faith bottles things up. We've seen this throughout
Mhm.
the years. She'll be like, it's fine, everything's fine, and then sometimes it's not fine. And you need someone again. That's why I think that scene with Nathan was so wonderful for Faith, because she doesn't often open up. She's such a
Yes.
professional. She holds her head high. She's there for the community whenever they need her. That sometimes she needs someone to check in with her. And I think actually Molly plays an interesting role, in that dynamic.
And helping.
So,
I like that.
yeah,
Okay.
it's really special. I love Johanna. She's wonderful. She's a great character.
Okay.
Great human, great character.
She is. She is. Listen, Andrea once said that she read, I'm sorry, Andrea, she's trying to say Andrea. Martha is saying that she met you somehow and your baby at the Kennedy half dollar. Is that
Oh, I know what she's talking about at one of the Hearties reunions.
oh, okay.
Really sweet. Is she in here?
Martha is her name.
Martha.
She's
Oh,
saying
hi,
hi right
Martha.
there.
I
She's like,
remember that. That was so special. That was a really funny reunion, because I was so pregnant. Paul was so kind, helping me, ushering me around at all the tables that year. But yeah, I remember she gave me a Kennedy half dollar she put it in my hand, and it was good luck. I got a few people at that convention handed me a few little cool trinkets, like good
oh,
luck charm, the
oh,
pregnancy. And being pregnant on TV is really weird, because you go through it and people watch it. So as they're watching
yes,
the season, your belly is literally getting bigger, and they're hiding it, but
we
it
know.
ends up being a
Yeah.
part of your job. So
And you
that's
had some
cool.
cool costumes too to wear and to hide
Yes.
your pregnancy.
Yes,
Um,
I had some capes to hide.
yes,
I still
wonderful, gorgeous.
in my wardrobe, and every year Barbara's like, I like these, and in my mind I'm like, that just reminds me of being pregnant. I don't know, that
No.
was very uncomfortable. I don't want to wear the cape, not yet.
Barbara's so fabulous. She's gonna change that into something. She's gonna do
She's
something.
so resourceful
She
too.
is.
She'll put something on me and I'm like, I do not see your vision, but okay. And then I'll show up at work, and it'll be in my trailer, and it'll be the most gorgeous tailored long suit, just
Mhm.
so resourceful, so creative.
She's amazing. I had her on and she was fantastic. Oh, I tortured her by showing her every picture I could, but I made sure
Oh,
what I was showing her was okay to discuss because some of the stuff was behind the scenes things and you couldn't really talk about it.
yes,
She
that's
was
right.
great. She was so good. What channel's The Wedding Fix on? It's on
Oh,
Up
Up
TV,
TV.
right? You
Mhm.
said it, but I feel like maybe Beverly missed that. And they're just, saying like how much they love you. If I missed a question, someone wanted to know, are you missing Paul? Are you missing
Oh, of
working with him?
course,
These
of
were seeing
course.
her. Yeah.
Yeah, he's so one, but he's got so much going on in his life. He's got a new little
I
baby.
know. Gorgeous baby.
Oh, yeah. So I mean, yes, of course I miss any, but like, that's the reality of working on a show for 10 years. Contracts change, people move on, people have other offers. You'll never have the same show from a season 1 to a season 9. It has to shift and change. And I think he's got so much going on, and he seems so happy. So I'm
He
very
is.
happy for him. But yeah, it's hard when things change.
It is. And then the Luca Beth Lounge was asking about I guess the movie you are doing with Marcus. They said they feel like it was
I
filmed
know, 84 years. That's so funny.
hyperbole much.
Yes, I think it was before When Calls the Heart started, so it was like May of last year, I wanna say. May, April, May, June, May. I feel like May. Please stick with me, 'cause I think that's what it was.
I know you got to go soon, so our time is up. But here's one. This is interesting. And Janine Marie, I know she has other interesting questions. She's fabulous. But she wanted to know about, you're so tiny. Who helps you transfer people from the operating table to the bed?
That's a really good question. Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, that's a reality that's been on the show before, where everyone has to hoist up people who are sick. Yeah, that's the interesting thing about shooting in a time period like 1919, which is where we currently are on the show, I believe, 1920. It's all hands on deck. Unlike now, where you can't be in a medical facility unless you're accredited and you have your badge and you scan your pass in. It was an all hands on deck situation. That's what I love about this show. If someone needs help, I'm sure if Faith needed help carrying someone, or you just run out Henry Gowan's next door, you just holler and someone will come help you. And I think our show kind of, we have elements of that at play always. There's always helping hands ready at any given moment. So I don't think there would be any trouble.
No, I think they would help you.
Molly's pretty strong.
You're tiny. I was going to say tiny but mighty.
Tiny but mighty. Yeah. She lifts dumbbells in between patients.
All right. I know you have a busy day, and I'm so happy that you spent some time with me. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. This was so fun and so special that you have all the comments on the side. What a nice little community here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I didn't answer everyone's questions, but hello. Thank you for being here, and I hope you enjoy the season.
We will. We're very excited. You don't know we're so excited. We're over the moon, crazed in our heads.
Excited.
All right. We can say goodbye, and then I'll end the broadcast, and we can say a quick goodbye in the studio, and then you could, be on your way. So
perfect. Bye, everybody.
Good night. Good night, everyone.